Hi, I'm Timothy Hankiewicz, Music Director of Orchestra Iowa. We've had a really great season so far, and the first two programs that we presented for our audience had a theme to it. The first one was sort of an American history, American fusion kind of program. Our last Masterworks was about East meets West, also sort of a fusion program. Masterworks III is a completely different animal, if you will. It's actually a succession of pieces that complement each other stylistically, although there isn't some overarching theme like we had in the first two. But I think the style that really binds all these three pieces is a sense of romanticism. And we begin with the Barber First Essay. And Barber is one of my favorite American composers. And in the 1950s when he was writing, he was kind of ostracized because he was writing beautiful, romantic sounding music. And now he who lasts best, because everybody loves his music today. And there's a stoicism about it, a slight bit of melancholy as well, but there is such a cinematic sweep to his music that it's just, it just tugs at your heartstrings. So that sort of sets the tone, the mood for the entire program. But the flagship, the centerpiece of the program really comes second in our program when Melissa White performs the Scottish Fantasy with us. And our audiences were introduced to Melissa last year or the year before. She is one of the founding members of the Harlem Quartet, and the whole quartet was our guest artist, so to speak, last year. And they did a wonderful piece, and Melissa, when she was playing, was just like 2 feet away from me, and I was hearing her play throughout that time. And she's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous musician. And so we reached out to her to play for us, and she said, yeah, I would love to. Can we please play the Scottish Fantasy by Brooke? And that's one of my all-time favorites. As a matter of fact, that's one of the first pieces I ever conducted as a student. This piece also happens to be my wife's favorite piece, and it's absolutely gorgeous, filled with sweeping melodies. You probably can't see this online here, but I've got my Lagavulin pin here. And just last year, my wife and I visited Islay, which is filled with all these Scotch distilleries, Lagavulin not the least of which, but we had a lot of fun with that, which reminds me of what Mike Myers says, which is, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. You can edit that if you like. The point is, this violin concerto by Brooke is one of the most romantic, beautiful, heartfelt concertos that I know, filled with all these beautiful Scottish melodies, and I can't wait to share this stage with Melissa White. She's just a spectacular artist. In this vein of romantic music, we end our program with Beethoven's Third Symphony, the Eroica Symphony. And this is a work that has great musical and historical significance because it literally started the Romantic age of music. And prior to Beethoven, composers, when they were writing symphonies, their work was meant to be consumed and then forgotten. There's a reason why Haydn wrote 104 symphonies and Mozart wrote 41 symphonies. They were made for a special occasion and then were to be completely forgotten. When Beethoven comes onto the scene, he wants to write works that will survive him, will be his legacy, will be remembered for all time. And the Eroica Symphony was one that was intended to be much larger in scale than any other symphony that came before it. Before it, symphonies were roughly 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes at most in total. All of a sudden, here comes this one grand symphony, dedicated to Napoleon, by the way, that was intended to be like 35, 45 minutes. I mean, a big, huge piece. And this set the stage and set the trend for the next 100, 150 years after it was written. So come see us on November 23rd and 24th for a beautiful concert you're not going to want to miss. We'll see you there.